This clearance is hurried. Back by McTominay! Red letter day! Scott McTominay! Ederson's day to hide. Solskjaer's day to look to paradise and say...
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Devil's Corner. Today, I want to do a quick rundown of what my thoughts were for the English Premier League games that were played last weekend. Before that, I'd like to just say a big shout out to our new head coach, Jacob Ghost-Mulee, who has been appointed as the new Harambee Stars coach. I know Ghost was a very, very good coach to this country, and we're going to do big things. I can't wait for you to bring back engineer Micah Ogada Ulunga from Kashiwa Reson. That boy is banging in goals. I wish Manchester United were listening. Instead of buying Erling Haaland, go and buy engineer Michael Olunga Ogada. Look at his numbers. Anyway, this past weekend saw quite a change in terms of how the league has been. I mean, we're used to a league that has so far not produced any goalless draw, or even a draw for that matter, was it? I think so. But anyway, so this past weekend we had quite a number of games, and just to run through a few of them quickly. We had West Ham against Manchester City, which was the first 1-1 draw. I think that was the first draw this season. Then we had Fulham and Crystal Palace, and then Man United Chelsea, the biggest game of the weekend, which didn't live up to the billing. If you ask me, I think both coaches are inexperienced. Both coaches are trying as much as possible not to get beat, and in that regard, they play very safe. Frank at most times has been the one that's playing. His team is playing free-flowing, attacking football. He bought quite a number of attackers on his team, and people have actually called him out for his defensive frailty, for that matter, because Chelsea can score 5 goals and end up conceding 6 in a space of 15 minutes, if that's even possible. But I mean, you can see what Frank is doing, and maybe it borrows from his character as an attacking midfielder. He wants to see that his team is actually scoring goals, which they have been. The problem is they score, but they don't let themselves breathe by allowing the opposition to actually score more than they do. And so the other game that was there on Saturday was the Liverpool versus Sheffield United team. I mean, if you look at the Liverpool versus Sheffield United match on Saturday, I would be tempted to think that with what's happening to Liverpool right now, Virgil van Dijk out, Sadio Mane has had some problems with injuries, Salah not really firing, and a lot of hype was made around the signing of Thiago, who is a fantastic player. But if you ask me, I don't see City or Liverpool retaining the title. I don't know who's going to win. Everton came out the blocks flying. They've been amazing. Everton have been, I don't know what Carlo Ancelotti did to that team, but you look at someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the guy was just a useless striker before, didn't even know what runs are, but right now he's at the right spot at the right time, banging in the goals, headers from this side and that, shots. I mean, he's alive. The sad thing is, I think this weekend, if you go to Sunday's games, when they met Southampton, then we saw something different. I don't know if it's just because Everton has run more than everybody else this season, or if it's because they were on a high and thought that things were going to be easy. This is the Premier League. This is the Premier League. You cannot get away with complacency. So Everton met Southampton this past weekend, and lo and behold, the league leaders, the unbeaten Arsenal players and Arsenal fans are right now celebrating the only cup they have in the world, saying how they are still invincibles. Anyway, Everton were beaten 2-0, and they could have been beat 5 or so by Southampton, which was a very, very good team on the day. And I mean, it brings into question as to whether they're starting to be found out a bit, and this will do a bit of damage to their confidence. But I mean, Ancelotti is an experienced coach. I think he'll work his boys around. He'll be able to get them thinking straight and bring them back. The next game, they might just score 4. Mark that. Then the other game was the Wolves versus Newcastle game, which ended up in a draw. I, it baffles me how Wolves, with their attacking threat of Adama Traore, would decide to leave him on the bench. I mean, Neves, Neto, and Jimenez are amazing. That Portuguese squad is amazing. The whole of 15 of them is amazing. But if you ask me, I think, I mean, you're playing Newcastle. I mean, I'm not throwing any shade on Newcastle. They did beat us last season. They beat Man United. And a very good goal from Matty Longstaff last season, who was just getting his debut and like literally outplayed us off the midfield together with his brother Sean Longstaff. But you playing Newcastle and you decide to leave Adama on the bench. Parker that guy Mafuta, put him in the game. Let those people run. When they're tired, bring in that other person. And so I think that was the other game that drew 1-1, Wolves and Newcastle. It was very interesting. It was boring for the most part, but I think in the 80th minute it came to life, and all of a sudden there were goals this side, goals that side, someone attacking, and then it was a draw. So, I don't know. The last game yesterday, and this one, I need some people to listen keenly. Carol Radul. I am throwing names, I'm dropping names. The mighty Gunners, the Invincibles, those who celebrated that Everton got beat, and so their Invincible trophy is still intact, were playing Leicester City yesterday. Leicester City, remember, who have no Jamie Vardy because of an injury to start, but would eventually join in. And Arsenal, strengthened by the new purchase of Thomas Partey. The attack has Aubameyang, you have Lacazette over there, and I think, you know, the best bit of business for me was Gabriel Magalhaes, fantastic centre-back, fantastic defender. And so this was poised to be a very, very good game. And if you ask me, I thought Arsenal were actually going to take the game to Leicester because they're at home, and we're going to see a bit of that free-flowing, you know, reminiscent of Wilshere, go. But lo and behold, it was weird. There was not that much activity happening. I think Arteta is also in the pool of the Frank Lampards and the Ole Gunnar Solskjaers, who are very, very cautious right now. They're afraid of what might happen in the next couple of weeks. Sorry, someone I think is knocking at the door. That might actually, you know, end up costing them their jobs. And so for that matter, they were not the Arsenal I'm used to. I hate Arsenal, but I love good football. Sometimes it's just hard to hate on good football. And what I've known Arsenal for is like proper flow, you know, one touch, nice, quick passing and, you know, crisp passing. And at this point, I would like to say something. If Arteta does not sort out the issue with Mesut Ozil, it's going to cost him his job. Jose Mourinho did not sort out his issue with Paul Pogba. It cost him his job. There are several players who have, for the love of what, I don't know, a lot more power than you think when it comes to not just their club, but the game in general. That, for you, my friends, is what Mesut Ozil is. He's a voice, he's a powerhouse. He's a humble human being. He loves Arsenal, and these guys are mistreating him. And guess what? He's going to be the downfall of this Mikel Arteta if he does not take care, because they have also refused to release him. Anyway, that was a really, really good game. Interesting bit of play for the first half. The second half is where I think it was a bit more lively with Maddison and everybody else coming into the game. And then I forget his name. I forget his name. I will find out who he is, but the person I'm referring to is a sub that was brought on for Leicester just after they had brought on Jamie Vardy, who provided Jamie Vardy with the assist, and who's Jamie Vardy? Loved scoring against Arsenal. Headed it, Danny Tibin. Leicester beat Arsenal at home for the first time in, I don't know, 87 years, 82 years, 87 years. And yeah, I mean, it was just an issue of, you know, Arsenal being cautious and not really playing their game and being afraid of Leicester, giving them a bit too much respect, if you ask me. And so that ended 1-0. The Arsenal lost at home. And that marks the end of the games for that weekend.
He's This clearance is hurried back by McTominay! Red letter day! Scott McTominay! Edison's day to hide, Solskjaer's day to lose.